Welcome, my friends, to the Do Less, Be More channel. I'm Amy, and today I want to talk about why it's so hard to say no. But first, if you're new here, welcome, and I invite you to take a moment to subscribe and support my channel. The support goes a long way. Thank you very much. I'm so happy that you're here. And likes on the videos let me know the topics that you're interested in. So if you find this video of value at all, please remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. So I'm going to talk about the real reason it's so hard to say no. This is a common topic that comes up when I begin working with new clients who are struggling with productivity and stress management. And it's something that I can deeply relate to personally. So most of my life, I was a perfectionist, a people pleaser that lacked healthy boundaries. I was chronically operating in my hypermasculine and completely disconnected from my intuition. I was always saying yes, and not having developed the skill set to give my authentic no meant I was sacrificing myself. I was so far out of alignment, and this is what led me to burnout and extreme depression. Okay? My inability to say no had me suffering big time. So there's so much content out there about this topic, and I think most of us understand that saying yes when we really mean no is a people-pleasing tendency that ignores the importance of healthy boundary setting. This can result in extreme stress, reduced productivity, overwhelm, anxiety, exhaustion, depression, unhealthy relationships, and of course, a disconnection from self. This is a subconscious pattern that was likely formed in childhood. If you have a tough time saying no, you might believe that your sense of value is actually tied to what you do for others. So perhaps you've placed expectations on yourself to be that person who is super reliable, dependable, and capable. Saying no in this case is too risky, right? It threatens your self-worth, and you don't want to miss out. So the scarcity mindset contributes as well to why we have a tough time saying no. Now, on an unconscious level, the inability to say no is rooted in fear. It's an avoidance strategy that keeps us safe from experiencing emotions that we haven't yet learned how to handle. So unconsciously, when you say yes, when you really mean no, you are essentially protecting yourself from having to deal with uncomfortable feelings. And now, given that you're here watching this video, I bet that this pattern of saying yes to everything, this unconscious avoidance strategy that used to keep you safe, is no longer serving you. You've outgrown this strategy, and you want to know how to deliver authentic no's and make space for those future yeses that will really light you up. Because you're tired of feeling constantly pulled in all directions, and you're overwhelmed whenever you look at your calendar. Maybe you're resentful of the fact that you have no me time. You're frustrated and disappointed in yourself for constantly sacrificing things that are actually important to you. Perhaps you even feel ashamed because you're not even sure what is important to you anymore. You've been saying yes for so long that you feel completely disconnected from your true self. And you're ready for that pattern to change. You're ready to live in alignment. Yes? So, self-discovery time. I encourage you to grab a pen and a journal, and then you're going to pause this video after each journal prompt that I'm about to offer you for reflection. I really want to encourage you to allow whatever needs to come through to be written down. So this is an exercise to connect your subconscious and your conscious minds so that you can pattern interrupt, so that you can begin developing the skill set of giving your authentic no without guilt and create space for your aligned yeses. It's so cold. So question number 1 is a 3-parter. So when you say yes, but you wish you hadn't committed, what emotions typically arise for you? How does your body respond? And what thought patterns circulate in your mind? Pause the video now and give yourself at least 3 minutes of reflection time on this first prompt. Don't rush the process and come back when you're ready. So if you feel complete with journal question number 1, let's look at number 2. In the past, how has saying yes served you? Okay, in the past, how has saying yes been of service to you, helped you out, supported you? Go ahead and pause the video again and give yourself at least 3 minutes of reflection time. Ready for journal question number 3? What are you afraid will happen if you say no? Now, with each response to this question here that comes up, I invite you to go a layer deeper by asking, and what happens next? So for example, if I ask myself the question, what am I afraid will happen if I say no? Well, I'm afraid my friend will be disappointed. To this, I ask myself, if my friend is disappointed, what happens next? Well, if she's disappointed, then I have to deal with her disappointment, which makes me feel guilty, and I'll get into repair mode and overcompensate, and I just really can't handle that disappointment and guilt. So go ahead and pause the video again and give yourself at least 3 minutes of reflection time. Okay, journal question number 4. What emotions are you avoiding having to deal with whenever you say yes instead of responding with your authentic no? Now, from your responses, you will be able to extract clarity on the uncomfortable emotions that need attention, the ones that you're afraid of experiencing, because you never learned how to experience them in a healthy way. Perhaps it's anger or shame or guilt or sadness. Perhaps you were taught those feelings were bad and that feeling them meant you were bad, and so you learned to suppress them or take action to prevent them from happening. The thing is, those emotions, they get stuck in your body as energy until they can have their full expression. So we need to get better at holding space for our emotions. So once you've identified the emotions that you've been avoiding, the next step is learning to be with those uncomfortable emotions so that you are no longer afraid of them, and therefore you don't need to protect yourself anymore with the avoidance strategy of saying yes when you really mean no. Can you give those emotions space to be witnessed without personalization? What I mean by this is, can you observe those emotions with curiosity without identifying with them? Remember, an emotion is not who you are. Our goal is to recognize emotions as messengers working for us. Negative emotions are experienced when we are not being in alignment. And remember, burnout is the opposite of alignment. I learned this the hard way after years of saying yes when my heart wanted me to say no. And we're human beings, not doings. When we are operating from a place of alignment by honoring our sacred no's, we are being inspired to flow and welcome opportunities for aligned yeses. This energizes us. On the other hand, when we are acting out of fear and saying yes when we really mean no, we are doing with force. This depletes us. So, take the time to shed light on the real reason you can't say no. What emotions have you up until now been afraid of experiencing? Build the self-awareness, and then when you feel ready to start giving your authentic no, check out my video, The Gift of No and How to Get Good at Saying It. I invite you to share what's come up for you in your reflections in the comments below. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all right here next week on the Do Less Be More channel.